super expensive, but the lesson is priceless. All right, I think we're inspired. Shall we proceed? There are 4 kinds of business: tourism, food service, railroads, and sales, and hospitals / manufacturing, and air travel.
Michael Scott, the anti-Entre leader right there. How many of you ever worked for a Michael Scott type leader? Raise your hand. Okay. How many of you are sitting next to them right now? See, that first question was just for information. The second question was an IQ question. Thankfully, no one raised their hand. Well, it's a great morning. I know you're getting back in. I want you to get your notebooks out, because if you have never heard Chris Hogan speak, you're in for a treat. How many of you actually heard Chris Hogan speak before? Let me hear from you. Yes. The good news is most of you are in for a big treat. I can describe Chris in so many ways, but the best way to describe Chris Hogan is a man who's passionate about leaders. He's passionate about helping people. He's a great husband, he's a great father, and an incredible teammate to work with. He has been setting crowds on fire all spring with these talks that he's going to deliver today. He's about ready to read your mail as leaders, as he talks about personalities, profiles, and how you lead well with this information. So Las Vegas, are we ready?
Yes!
All right, let's do this. Let's give a huge welcome to the stage, Chris Hogan.
Good afternoon, Vegas. How are you? I brought my family with me right over here. You guys are pumped up. Now, I know I probably scared the heck out of some of you with this voice, didn't I?
Oh, yeah.
Okay? My voice changed when I was 13. Can you imagine me trick-or-treating at your house? I scared people to death, right? They're like, there's a grown man out there trick-or-treating. I'm not a man, I'm a child. Give me candy. Right? I'm excited to be with you all. I'm pumped. I was sitting backstage waiting on Dave to hurry up and get done so I could have my turn. Right? You guys are a great crowd. You are amped. How many of you have ever flown through Vegas?
Flown through?
Just watching you. How many of you have flown through Atlanta? Oh, that's a situation, isn't it? I mean, we'll have a prayer meeting later. Put your hand down. That's a hot mess over there. But I was flying through there. True story, you all. 2 little ladies were sitting there. Now, you gotta understand something. I can't whisper. I've been getting in trouble in church a long time, okay? I mean, I'm talking to you all in a subdued tone right now, all right? I can't whisper. But I was traveling for speaking engagements. I travel all over the country talking about money, business, and leadership on behalf of Dave and the company. But I was talking to my wife, and I told her, hey, babe, this gig went well. I'm getting ready to go catch my next flight. I love you. I'll talk to you later. Well, these 2 little ladies were sitting there, one black lady, one little white lady. They were going on a mission trip out here to Vegas. Some of y'all know what that means, don't you? Right? But I overhear them say this as I'm getting ready to walk off. True story, you all. As I leave, one lady said, I know who he is. And the other little lady said, I know who he is too. And as I'm leaving, this is what the other lady said. She said, he's the man from those insurance commercials. Really? Really? So here's what's going to happen, you all. It's not that I'm clairvoyant, but I know it's going to happen again. I travel too much, right? And so the next time that happens, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn and look at him and go like this. Are you in good hands? I'm watching you. And then I'm going to roll on to my gate. I'm excited to be with you all. How many of you ever worked with anybody you wanted to tase? Okay, put your hand down. And if you're sitting beside him right now, don't make eye contact. Just look at me. Just look at me. All right? But people are interesting. They are. Everybody's wired a little bit different. And so I want to spend some time talking with you, giving you some tips on how you can connect and better cope and communicate with people. You and I know people are the backbone to business. So the person with the most relationships wins. The individual with the better connection will win. And so as Entre leaders, I want to share with you some tips because everybody's wired a little bit different. For example, how many of you are married to a spouse that has a different personality style than you?
Oh, yes.
Oh, that's interesting, ain't it? Okay? Listen, I'm one of these get stuff done people. I move fast, all right? I don't do a lot of details. Well, I'm married to a beautiful woman. I'm married way, way up, by the way. Okay? No, I mean way up. All right? I met her in college. She wasn't going nowhere. Okay? But I'm married way up. My wife is extremely detail-oriented. So I'm about to tell you all a story of a situation that happened. True story. Matt and Natalie were people we went to church with. Friends of ours, we have dinner with them, we hang out. My wife was out of town. Her mom was sick in Ohio, so she had gone to take care of her mom, to check up on her. And I was there. Well, Matt is wired like me. He and I have like 20-second phone conversations. Okay? And if we're feeling chatty, we might go 40 seconds to a minute. All right? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Some of you are just like that. We get to the point. Well, he calls me and he says, "Hey, Hogan, want to let you know we had our baby." I said, "Dude, that's great. What you have?" He said, "Little boy." He said, "Hogan, I think the boy's a linebacker." Because that's what he and I both played. I said, "That's awesome." And we hung up the phone. Y'all know where this is going, don't you? It's like a slow-moving train wreck, isn't it? So I decided to be a good husband and call my wife. I called my wife, she picks up the phone and said, "Hey, Dave, want to let you know Matt and Natalie had the baby." She said, "Oh, that's awesome. What they have?" I said, "Little boy." Now, let me pause here for a second. If I would have hung up right then, everything would have been okay. But I didn't. So let me back up. She said, "What they have?" I said, "Little boy." And she said, "What they name it?" Have you ever tried to make a question go away with the question? This was me. Huh? She said, "What they name it?" I go, I don't know. I said, she goes, "You didn't get that info?" Then she said, "How much did the baby weigh?" Now I'm reaching, right? I was like 6 to 9 pounds. And then she said, "How long was the baby? When are they coming home?" She kept going and going. Now I'm getting irritated because I don't have the information. She's getting frustrated because I don't have it. And I said, "Honey, I don't know that stuff." And she said, "Why not?" And then she said, "Any normal human being would have got that." She just poked the bear right there. Now I'm riled up. I was like, "Honey, look, that's not needed information. You just need to know they had the baby and everybody's good." And she said, "Well, I can't believe you don't know any of this stuff." And finally I said, "You know what? I feel like you're being nosy." I said, "I feel like you're violating the baby's privacy right now. Maybe the baby don't want you to know all that information." And here's what we do. I got riled up, she was riled up, we do what we do. We got off the phone for 10 minutes, we give ourselves a timeout, time to cool down. Called her back, said, "Babe, look, I'm sorry." She goes, "Honey, it's okay." She goes, "I'll call one of my friends and get the information." And I said, "Well, I just didn't think it was all necessary." And she goes, "Well, a normal human." I said, "Don't go there. You're trying to make up right now, right?" Get off the phone. 3 months later, another friend, Tim and Mary in our church, have their baby. My wife is again out of town. There's a theme, isn't it? Tim calls me, he's wired like me, but this time I'm prepared. Tim calls me, he said, "Hey, Hogan, I want to let you know we had our baby." I said, "Dude, that's awesome. What'd you have?" He said, "Little girl." He said, "Hogan, she's a doll." He said, "Well, man, look, I got to get off here." I was like, "Not so fast, my friend. I got a whole list of stuff." I had a flipboard and everything. I had a chart. I was ready. I was like, "Matter of fact, Tim, give Mary the phone because I know you don't know any of this info." I got the information. I was so pumped to call my wife. And this is what happened. I called her. I said, "Hey, babe, I want to let you know Tim and Mary had the baby." She did this. See, she remembered what happened last time, but this time I'm prepared. I was like, No. Bring the questions, woman. She said, "What's the baby's name?" I said, "Mary Elizabeth." She said, "How much did the baby weigh?" I said, 7 pounds, 8 ounces. She said, "How long was the baby?" I said, 18 inches. She said, "Who the baby looked like?" I said, "Her mama." And then she said, "When are they coming home?" I said, Thursday around 2 p.m. Now, I wanted to drop the phone like, bam! But I didn't. I played it cool, right? And my wife said, honey, thank you. You gave me exactly the information that I needed to know. And I thought, you see, I'd messed up before, but this time I was prepared. And to deliver the information as she needed it was the goal. I wanted to hit the target. I wanted to hit the mark with my communication. And that's exactly what I did the second time around. As leaders, you and I know the goal is to hit the target. That's why we do what we do. People don't understand that you're trying to work hard to provide for your family. A lot of times people don't understand that. You and I understand that. You have dreams and goals for your family. You have things that you want to accomplish for them. And if you can get your teammates on board and understanding that, if you can create an environment where people suddenly start to understand each other a little bit better, start to get along a little bit better, now you're going to decrease drama and increase results. So I want to spend some time talking with you, giving you some tips on some things on how to work with people that are wired a little bit different than you. So let's go to your workbook. We're going to talk about personality styles. Now, you need to understand something. Understanding personality styles is absolutely vital to winning. You can't win as a leader if you don't understand how your team is wired. You won't. And so many businesses out there today, you all, are missing connection. You see, if a person is not connected to their leader, they'll leave. And by the way, I will let you in on something. People don't leave a company. They leave a leader. So what I want you to do, because you spend so much time recruiting, training these individuals on your team, you pour into people. You want them to stay. Now, let's not be crazy. Some of them need to leave, right? Yeah. Only the Lord has some crazy children. You and I know this. But the good ones, you want them to stay. So what is your employee retention program? What is the thing that you're doing to make sure the good ones stay put so you can continue to pour into them? Because as you pour into them, they're increasing in their results, which means you're increasing in what you're able to take home and care for the people you love the most. So this is information I wish I could go back and tell the young, crazy Chris Hogan, the young leader, that was so focused on making things happen that I missed the opportunity to connect with people on a different level. I missed the whole retention process. I just was the grinding kind of leader. I was the person I thought yelling was teaching. I thought the louder that I got, it meant the more that they would hear me. So foolish. And I look back on it now and go, my gosh, if I could just go back. If I could just go back. So I want to help you all go forward because it's impossible for us to go backwards. It doesn't happen. But we can go forward more enlightened and more intentional in how we treat people. And here's how it applies. Understanding personality styles is vital to winning, but it also helps you understand a few things. Number one, it's important for you in understanding yourself. You see, the more you understand you and the things that kind of set you off and frustrate you or cause you tension, the more now you'll be able to manage it. You see, it's impossible to manage something you're not aware of. And so that awareness allows you for improvement. Because that's why all of you are here. You didn't get up this morning to come hang out just to look at my pretty hair. You came here with the intention of improving. And I'm with you. I want to improve constantly. So understanding yourself, it's also vital for you understanding your team. That's important. You need to start to know your team on a different level. I want you to have that retention process because you know what? You know them. You know what makes them tick. You know what sets them off. And it's an incredible opportunity for you as a leader to take your leadership skills to another level. And I don't care how old you are. I see young people in here, and I see people that aren't so young, like me. But the bottom line is improvement is available. It's a decision that you make. And so I want to kind of give you some insight on this because as you get better, you can improve in a lot of areas. But here's the big one. This is the one a lot of people don't think about, the personality styles. It's also vital in helping you understand your customers. Now think about that. You and I know the bloodline of this.